Hello, welcome to the Quarantine Cup number 74 playoffs. I'm here with SSounder.
Hey, hey.
And I'm Shanahan, and we will be watching this one semifinal, Mick Seanock versus Lemon Spawn. The other semifinal is going on concurrently, Sporting Elijah versus Minion Pawn. Let's take a look at this kingdom. We've got a bonfire, we've got an otter, we've got some debt cards. You can trash with bonfire and remodel, certainly. There's a lot of draw with Council Room and Journeyman. Is there any plus buy? Council Room? So we've seen all the pieces here.
Yeah, you really do. Not the best villages, but Conclave and Ironmonger are both potential villages.
And with Bonfire and Remodel, you can get quite thin. Engineer is always fun with Cavalry. You can use Engineer to gain plus buys and cavalries.
Right.
So, Mick opens with a Journeyman. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what one opens here on 5-2. Okay, Journeyman Overlord. That makes some sense. They can play the Overlord as a Conclave. If they collide, they can do some bonfire stuff.
Do you not play the Journeyman as Mick, so you don't draw it dead, or do you just draw it? I think you don't play it, right?
Yeah, I don't see much reason to play it. Probably here you just play Overlord as a cavalry and bonfire.
You could potentially play it as remodel in bonfire.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Remodel into you can even remodel into cavalry, draw some more cards, or you can just remodel into like Ironmonger or something. Lemon opened with the bonfire remodel. Was able to bonfire again turn 3, remodel turn 4. Getting a cavalry get to the end of the shuffle. So Lemon's getting quite thin. They've already trashed 5 starting cards.
Yep.
Certainly there are better draws where the Mix Overload doesn't miss the shuffle, where having a 5-2 is not quite so bad.
Right. If you frame Overlord before the Journeyman, then you can play them both.
Engineer from Lemon turn 4 feels awkward given the number of actions they have, terminal actions they have. Like they desperately need an Overlord now to play as a Conclave or something. And I assume Mick names estate here. They've got 2 estates down there, but we'll see. Yeah, and here they can remodel in a estate into Ironmonger, pay off debt. They're moving along. That was just a guess, Ironmonger. I wasn't super confident about it. I guess Lemon just takes two Ironmongers here. I feel like they've over-engineered their deck a little bit.
Nice hit for Mick to village effect.
Absolutely. Gets this turn up and running. Now they can name, I guess they've got 1 estate left. I think you can play one of these Overlords as a...
Does Conclave work?
I don't think Conclave works.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
I think you play an Ironmonger, I was about to say, because you only have 2 coppers in the discard, so you're able to get through the rest of the shuffle. I think you can play this Ironmonger as the first Overlord is an Ironmonger, get a clean shuffle and an extra coin, and then still play the other Overlord as a
he wouldn't. That would trigger a pretty bad shuffle if he played the first one as an Ironmonger, right?
There's 3 coppers in there. So you'd leave 1 copper on top.
1 copper on top. Okay, that's not horrible.
See what Lemon does here. They can remodel the cavalry. You can remodel the cavalry into a cavalry if you'd like. I guess you can also just otter it. That's probably just the same. With otter, really you can just kind of slam in as many Ironmongers as you want and a couple of Conclaves, and then cavalries are also really nice because Conclave Horse is basically like a village.
Mm-hmm.
It is in fact exactly a village if you draw those 2 cards. So I certainly feel like Lemon has a much thinner deck, which leads me to believe that they're somewhat ahead. I think even here you can like remodel this estate into a conclave and then trash more coppers with bonfire and feel pretty confident that you've got enough payload. If they don't, if they trash here, I'd be worried that you don't have enough payload.
Yeah, that would seem to really thin out their payload if they bonfire here. Maybe it's just another ironmonger.
Yeah. Lemon was confused. I assume. I mean, you're always going to remodel the estate into something, right? I see. Oh, they're going to cavalry here, and then they can conclave remodel. Okay, that seems to work out all right. I do really think they need a conclave here. Maybe they've got 7 money in deck still. I kind of like the line where you were. I kind of like the line where you get a bonfire here to get rid of the rest of your estates, and then your ironmongers are villages. And with every action in Otter, you can draw a lot of cards as long as you have village support.
Right.
We also have to start looking for how this game ends. The Ironmonger pile will run, and the cavalry pile, as always, just kind of will melt away fairly quickly. Yep. So
good hit there for Mick, although I guess most of the remaining cards in his deck are action cards at this point.
Yeah, so Lemon Spawn's got 3 coppers. Mick's got 5, so there should be 2 coppers down there.
Let me just draw it all up here.
Yeah, so I can see his picks Assemble Me, Rusty Steed, Falivero typing in the chat. They're listening in and wondering if they're not being seen. Maybe Lemon Spawn has people banned. I don't think that's how that works, but... So, with 7 here, looks like they're going to take a cavalry. You can do some fun stuff. They can take a cavalry, immediately draw it, then they can remodel it into whatever engine piece they want, a draw card or a conclave or something, and then still have money left over for trashing.
Yeah, that was nicely played.
I like getting super thin and doing engineering, using conclave as much as possible for your payload. We can even do that here. You can play conclave on it, engineer and gain a cavalry, which is quite nice. And I think we're at the point where we don't want to trash engineers. They're more value to us sitting in the deck long term.
Yeah, you've got the village support for him now for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. Early on in the game, you want to trash the engineer, right? Because it gives you 2 cards, and those 2 cards are significantly better than your starting cards. So that's really nice to have. And then later on in the game, once you are trying to optimize gains, and so or the engineer pile gets lower and it's harder to regain them.
Sure.
What's in this shuffle? Is the shuffle mostly horses? Looks like there should be 4 horses.
Few horses in there, 1 copper. What else does he have? Did he not play the remodel? Oh no, he did play the remodel as Otter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would take another conclave here just for the payload.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we have to play this Overlord as. I guess we'll play the Overlord as conclave on the engineer, or we can do it this way. Play the engineer for a cavalry.
The cavalry, yep.
They found all of the coppers at the very top of the shuffle.
But still is able to draw just fine.
Yep. The cavalries make that really nice. So yeah, the cavalry piles are going to be gone in 2 turns. The Ironmonger pile could be gone in a turn or 2, although both players probably have enough of those. So you start looking for a 3rd pile, like conclaves, or even potentially estates.
Right.
If you've got a couple of engineers that you can trash, you can get 4 or 5 estates pretty easily. You've also got a remodel, which is another estate. And if you're using engineer to gain cavalry, that gives you buys. So the pile out can come pretty quickly. Although it doesn't feel like it's 1 turn away, but maybe it is 2 turns away.
So as Mick, do you want to get rid of? You want to bonfire a couple coppers here, just so you're better positioned for when in case the cavalries do run? Or not in
I
case, but when they do
think
run?
at this point in the game, Mick's a little bit behind, and so Mick needs to add payload and hope they don't top deck all their coppers. It's a close call though. I could see the alternative. Um, Mick does have the overlords, which gives some flexibility that
Yeah.
Lemon does not have. Lemon just has a lot more pieces in the deck. And there's a lot of cards which don't draw, but I guess you don't necessarily need lots of draw cards when you have um, cavalries and you've got Way of the Otter. Um, I
Now, as
think
Lemon, do you want to try to pile cavalries here to take that option away from Mick?
um, I don't know that you are making your deck a lot um, worse if you do it that way.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
lot of dead cards in your deck.
yeah, I'm assuming they just play all the cavalries, then play a horse. They can hit gold, and they
Yeah, that's
immediately drew. That was a very nice draw in the shuffle of all horses to draw the gold. Um,
yeah.
I think Lemon just takes a province now.
Like they're getting rid of their last two out of their last three coppers here.
Yeah, I mean they can also consider an Ironmonger for draw. Um, they're not actually net drawing. I guess with those two coppers gone, the golds seem strange to me. Maybe they're looking to remodel golds as payload.
Mm.
Um, and I don't think Nick is particularly close to a pile out here. Although you can like gain engineers, then gain cavalries to play the engineers that you just gained. That kind of stuff. Um, you can also remodel horses into whatever nice things you'd like to play. Um,
Yeah, Mick's got some overdraw here for sure, so they could do some cavalry gain and play and maybe pick up a couple engineers to play this turn.
yeah, unfortunately, they do still have like the rest of their deck is pretty much just coppers, so they've got to spend some draw to get through the coppers. But
Yeah.
they have enough horses here. Um, and I assume we just play Conclave horse here, draw some coppers, and then start to consider denying the cavalries from. I assume we go cavalry into gold. Interesting.
Hmm.
I did not expect golds to be gained or purchased in this kingdom, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Conclave is really your best payload among the Kingdom cards.
Yeah.
And you're somewhat limited to how often you can play it, so I guess I see the need for some treasure in the deck.
Yeah, but this is a little dicey for Mick with five coppers still, and I guess they're adding two horses, and they've got the journeyman, the council room, so they've got a lot of pieces. So it should still be okay, but it does seem like it's going to be a little bit tight if you're trying to do the overplay, draw, and gain stuff.
Right.
And again, here I would think getting a province because
I don't need a province, yeah.
your opponent might set up for a pile out 2 turns from now, and if you've got a province this turn and a province next turn, the estate pile does not look runnable. And I don't know, Mick could even take another engineer here to try to finish off the cavalries and the ironmongers with 2 engineers. Like the cavalry pile, ironmonger pile goes, you probably got enough to get through the conclaves as well. And I actually expect Levinspawn to take the last 2 cavalries, right? So, they'll probably be pretty low piles next turn, depending on what Lemon does here.
Right. So does Lemon need to at least go province duchy here?
Um, I don't think there's quite a pile out yet with Mick only having 1 engineer, but I certainly think at least a province, if not, something a little more. Looks like they're going to have a big stack of horses. A big stack of horses at the beginning of their next turn. You could play 3 cabs here, or you can play Conclave Horse, and then play like 4 cabs, remodel a cab into something. The sheer number of cavalries is a little bit concerning, given that they're terminals. But
Yeah, I guess as long as they can always top deck the horses that they get off of them, they'll be fine.
yeah, yeah. I think if they'd realized the last card was an Ironmonger, they might have played that a little bit differently. They gain a council room, interesting, and this is just like province duchy then.
Yes, the council room is for the plus buy. They certainly don't need the draw.
Yeah, so Mick can engineer, gain cavalry Ironmonger, like gain 2 Ironmongers, and then buy engineer cavalry, play that engineer to gain Ironmonger, conclave, and they would need 16 4 buys, or no, they could remodel into a conclave. So like, there's a lot of little things like that. If Mick can get to overdraw here, it certainly seems possible for Mick to win this turn. Based on the math I just said, I don't even know if you need to do the gain and play of the engineer, but that does give you an extra gain that you don't need. The problem with that is you have to pay the debt off immediately, but so that there's a lot of money would be required in that line. But then again, Mick's got 2 overlords of gold.
That's a nice draw.
Yeah, 2 overlords and a gold for Mick, so they could remodel gold into province, remodel something into conclave. So like, I think I certainly think that the pile out is possible. It might be a little bit draw dependent, order dependent on the exact order of what Mick's deck is.
Yeah, they've got 4 treasures in the discard right now.
Yeah, so like triggering this shuffle is somewhat difficult. And they bought back 2 Ironmongers, so they are going to be able to add some payload here with the Ironmonger for coins. So we'll see. They're playing Conclave on the horse. So they can play this horse, play both cavalries, play Overlord as something, and buy 2 provinces. They can also play the horse, play 2 cavalries, remodel the gold into province, buy province duchy. And then they'd be up, 2 provinces, which is nice. Yeah, Mick does not appear to be thinking about the win, as Minion Pawn says. I don't know that it was there. It looks like they may have been a little bit draw limited in the end. And perhaps the exact order of the Ironmongers being at the bottom. If the 2 Ironmongers were closer to the top and maybe 1 revealed province, then a win is possible. I'm pretty sure at this point a win is not possible. Well, especially when they take the cavalry earlier in the turn. But I'm pretty sure they're limited now to 5 gains, 2 Overlord remodels, and it would take 7 gains to pile out, and then they'd still need an 8th gain for a province.
Yeah, and this is their last Overlord here.
Yeah. They're playing Conclave on horse. Okay, and they did find the copper there, which is nice. So the bottom 3 cards should be horses.
Yeah.
That was a nice move of the ottering there. You get to save the horse.
Yep. Couple province here.
Yeah, definitely another province, and I think another engineer is certainly possible. But the thing is, like, Lemon Swan's got a double province here, right? To make it close. And if Lemon Spawn double provinces, then Nick can just double province next turn, so that engineer doesn't help at all.
Yeah, I think the engineer just gets in the way.
Honestly, the Overlord does help, because all you need is 11 money, or 8 money, and then a gold and a remodel. So
right.
That seems like Mick can double province pretty easily next turn.
Yeah.
I think Overlord's... Oh, you need 16 money. Yeah, 14 money. Yeah, the Overlord doesn't help there. Yeah, I think nothing makes the most sense to me. Yeah, because you have to pay the debt off still. The Overlord doesn't make sense to me then.
Right.
So now I think Lemon has to pile themselves, but I don't see how that's possible here. It is not clear to me what they're doing with these remodels other than just max scoring. Like they're just going to remodel a bunch of stuff into stuff, or do they have enough remodels? Wow, they have enough remodels.
Well, they can triple province here.
Yeah, that looks like a win. They remodel 2 golds into provinces. They've got 8 money.
Yeah, this is a win.
Wow, nice line found by Lemon Spawn. I'm not quite sure why they're playing it the way they're playing it. They had an easier, faster win, but that was a very nice line. I did not see the engineer for 2 remodels and trashing the 2 golds. So very nicely spotted by Lemon Spawn. I think the opening differences and shuffles put Lemon Spawn a little bit ahead, and Mick had a really good turn to catch up. And I don't know if it was possible for Mick to pile out there. I don't think it was with all the coppers, but nicely done by Lemon Spawn, who moves on to the finals. Lemon Spawn is playing Minion Pawn, it looks like. Battle of the Pawns. Can you add required card of Pawn to the game?
Yeah, this needs to be a pawn cage game.
That would be exciting. So we've got a kingdom up and running. Lemon Spawn with the 5-2. We'll see quickly if that's good. There's no 3 or 4 cards that you want, right? So 5-2 seems good. What does one even do in this kingdom? So there's a little bit of alt VP and nobles. But mostly we're going to be scoring provinces. There's no way to thin. You can get rid of coppers into larger treasures with mine, although that feels a little bit lame. None of the 5, like Courtier is like a very bad opening 5, and Kiln is, I think, is equally bad. You can tell which one of those do you think is a worse opening 5.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever gaining Kiln here.
I guess the Courtier at worst gains you a gold, or plus 3 coins. The Kiln is just like, oh, I can gain that. Kiln could be nice with nobles. If you can play nobles, Kiln nobles, and get some extra nobles, it's not terrible. I kind of want a deck that has a bunch of nobles and werewolves and Courtier, and werewolf is a 4 types. So,
seems like the nobles are going to be pretty key here, given that they're the only village.
Yeah, they're also just like a terrible village.
They are, but there's not much else to do.
Yeah. So we immediately see Minion Pawn gets the 6 and gets a crop rotation, and Lemon Spawn follows suit. Given that there's no trashing, the crop rotation seems pretty strong here.
Yeah.
And
nice with
they both get a nobles.
I assume Lemon Spawn just discards the nobles for crop rotation on their turn.
Well, then you just discard an estate.
Yeah, but now the nobles isn't doing anything for you.
The estate wasn't doing anything, I guess, either. But yeah, I
mean, yeah. I was thinking, never mind.
Nobles is a very sad card a lot of the time.
Yeah. I was thinking crop rotation allowed you to discard more than one. I haven't played with that in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. The engine that Minion Pawn is building, and we'll see if Lemon Spawn's building it this turn. So we're both building an engine, and it just feels really sad. Minion Pawn now, who has this smithy, is going to be able to just... It looks like we're just going to race down nobles until the end. Yeah, so villain money, you just buy villain and then buy silvers and golds, and you've got some coffers for smoothing. Yeah. And your opponent gets unfettered access to the nobles, and maybe they get a couple of werewolf attacks in. But you've got crop rotation. Crop rotation should make money a lot better. I don't think it can be that much better, though. Because the nobles are some amount of points, and then you are start hitting with werewolf attacks, and your deck can absorb more green cards. I think you can get five provinces somewhat easily with that villain deck. Maybe six, and then after 6, it takes a couple of villain plays to get caught. Well, yeah, that's coffers, right? The coffers from villain mean that getting provinces number 6, 7, and 8 are a lot easier with a money strategy. We've got to discard this nobles to crop rotation, right?
Yeah.
Very sad, Courtier. We're gaining a gold. I don't think I want golds here.
Yeah, would you just consider provincing there, taking the 3 coins and provincing?
Yeah, I mean, what is the gold doing for you? It's just preventing you from colliding your nobles and your smithies.
Yeah.
This to me is like, yeah, for lemon spawn's pretty clear province. Um,
Yeah, this villain's working out quite nicely for lemons, or yeah, for lemon spawn.
it's also nice
Accumulating
against
enough.
crop rotation because normally you want to discard an estate, which is sort of why villain's not that good in attack because estate costs two. So your villain causes me to discard an estate, which normally is nice,
Yep.
but with crop rotation, it's annoying.
Yep.
Yeah, they both seem to be
Well,
overbuilding here.
yeah, I don't like that werewolf from lemon. I think, yeah, as Mick said, I think he just province there.
The thing is, they both have four nobles, so you've got four villages that are necropolises in a deck. That's very quickly going to be 20 plus cards. You do get a little bit of deck inspection with Courtier, but like it is going to get quite tough um, to line up villages and smithies and stuff. That was a very odd decision from Lemon Spawn. If they play the
Yeah,
nobles as action,
I
they
think you
can.
just village that and play the werewolf.
That's what I would have thought. Um, but I certainly, now that we've all got all the nobles, I certainly don't see any reason not to just province. There's no alternate source of VP. You know, if you let your opponent get eight nobles, that's worth like um, 2.5 provinces. But um, does lemon not have um, does lemon not have a plus buy source? They must have a courtier in here.
They did pick up a courtier.
Yeah. Um, just feels like as we add provinces, these turns are going to get worse. And lemon spawn's got a big stack of coffers.
Yeah, feels like that's going to be the difference, but obviously it's going to come down to draws as well.
It's coffers, is what you want me to say? The R is not silent in coffers. Okay, I've been watching too many Australians play.
Offers or courtier?
Courtier. Courtier. Is that what you want me to say? The werewolf. The peddler.
There you go.
Conspirator. That one's tough to say. Um, so, yeah, I mean, we're seeing Lemon's gotten a province now, and I think it's going to be a little tough for Minion Pawn to keep pace, but we'll see. They're starting to get some pretty good draws going.
They can
They've
get a
got
plus buy here with the courtier.
yeah, um, which doesn't it's not
Just
useful to plus buy because all they get is a silver out of it. But
yeah. Oh, they get
um,
a
yeah, okay, peddler's worth more than nothing. Um, I assume you take like a
werewolf. Trash and hurts.
conspirator here, Smithy. Hmm. So this is not the greatest shuffle to trigger, I think, but as you have no nobles in the shuffle, well, you have one, and you have enough money to province here. Although Lemon could also take a duchy. Um, Given that any kind of duchy dancing, Lemon's got a significant lead due to the coffers.
Yeah.
I mean, the decks are kind of junky, and Lemon's got a lot of coffers. So if they just play on, like there's a decent, they're going to hit province anyways, and then worst comes to worst, you draw some werewolves dead, and then you play them as attacks. Although one of your werewolves just got eaten.
And they take it right back. Interesting. Yeah, I would have thought lemon would have green there.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
guess
I guess
the thing, and spending coffers too is weird. But the thing with what someone had said about the misery, if they do trade provinces back and forth, um,
well,
misery is worth 2 points. So
Minion did pick up an estate last turn.
yeah, that is consistent with how I know Minion to play. They're doing the counting and trying to figure it out from that perspective, looking a couple of turns ahead. Um, I think Lemon is more interested in building a better deck. Um, I assume you play this for draw and hope to find enough money. I don't think you're really worried about minion pawn double provincing, right? So you can just take
No,
like province peddler
province
and feel
peddler
happy that
seems
you've
good.
got a VP lead and a similar quality deck going into the shuffle.
Yeah, and 3 coffers still banked.
Yeah. Um, they may also be considering like double duchy, which doesn't feel really any better. Province estate. It's not really like you win the game. Minion or lemon spawn wins by getting 2 more provinces, right? And minion wins by getting 2 more provinces. So the extra estate
Yeah,
doesn't seem to matter.
yeah,
Once lemon
agreed.
gets 2 more provinces, I don't think minion can come back. They need a lot of duchies and lemon to just repeatedly miss duchy, which is going to be hard to do with the villain and the confrontation and stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, this seems like clear province peddler to me.
yeah. So if minion pawn gets province estate, they're at 36. So if lemon's at 36, the minion gets a province at 33. Then
Whoa.
lemon spawn could
Whoa.
get a duchy to go for the tie. I
Yeah,
don't
I hate
understand
those
what
ones.
just happened
Oh.
at all. Um,
Yeah, I don't understand why you don't province there.
yeah, so I assume this
No,
core deck is
mini.
going to take action coin, action buy, and you play the nobles, and the decks are big enough at this point. I assume they're not like super closely tracking them, but now
Let's
minion
see
pawn
if.
can just take 2 duchies.
Okay.
Honestly, the way this is going, I think with the logic that I just worked out, the person to get 2 provinces wins. Is I think minion pawn can safely take a province there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mick's comment. Seems like double provincing just seems like a seems like a dream. I don't
And if they
understand
double
why you
province, they're going to win anyways, right? It's not like Lemon's going to double province, then Nick's going to province duchy back here. So, like, Lemon would have 41, Minion would need to get 13 in a buy, and like the Courtier's in the discard pile. It is, and Minion is now envious, which is going to make provincing much, much more difficult.
Yeah, I guess is the estate worthwhile? I guess they think so. Yeah, I mean, I guess
They're
if you
not going to
split
get
the
another shuffle.
yeah, and you're not gonna do you Dutch? No, Dutchy doesn't
Yeah, I
do
mean, you
much
play the
for.
werewolf, see how much money you draw. Um,
Yeah, I guess you play one of them.
if you
Yeah,
could duchy, you certainly should because that means if they get a province, you win with the last.
the
Yeah, if they
Dutchy or
duchy,
probably.
then you can't take a province in that situation.
Ooh, given the curse might be relevant.
Yeah, I mean it's that province. I don't think was that risky, but with the giving the curse, it makes it even better because in Quarantine Cup, the winner goes to the tie goes to the second place player.
Right. That was an interesting crop rotation there.
Yeah, I think it made sense what they did given the current state of the deck. But it's hard to say. As Lemon, you just play the villain, and I guess you buy an estate, or do you play a nobles and hope to draw a gold and some werewolf, and maybe you give another
Gotta
hex.
take a Dutchy here as lemon, don't you? Otherwise, minion wins with a province.
Oh, yeah, right. So 41 to 36, yeah. So, but like it's making it harder and harder for minion pawn to um, get there. I think you don't play this werewolf. You buy a duchy and you get an
Yeah,
attack and hope it's a good attack.
yeah.
That's not going to be a good attack.
Well, that's not going to work. This might
You
do it
need
here.
and like locusts could hit.
There it
But
is.
this is a win. Locusts could hit nobles or something, but then you replace it with a duchy, and then you feel bad. So it looks like Lemon Spawn's getting there in the end. I think they did a little bit too much dancing there at the end. Lemon could have just won that game earlier, but
Right.
well played by Lemon Spawn to get the Quarantine Cup victory.
Yes,
And
congrats to them. Good work. And Dominion Paul in second.
yeah, and then Sporting Elijah and Nick for shared third place. Thank you for joining me, SSounder. And
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
I will see you all next week for Quarantine Cup.